Jeff is the name given to the zombie-like monster who is a plant type of creature found in Chapter 7, and Jeff is the name given by Larry, who you see trapped and hiding in this chapter. Almost like Larry has a hard-on for Jeff. Jeff is a humanoid zombie-like creature that appears to be the corpse of a hazard worker from this factory infected by an unknown fungus-like species like the small creatures on the walls in this chapter. The human side of Jeff's head is split open and with it has two mouths acting as a serious deadly weapon, two protrusions that give the appearance like the small fungus-like growths that are found in the same level. Jeff's body is also greatly swollen and screwed up with numerous lumps and bumps, and all kinds of shit can be found all around his body, and his right arm is much bigger than his left and can be used to tear you a new asshole, so watch out. Jeff will release spores from his body, and these clouds can cause Alyx to cough, which will alert Jeff to her presence, and then you are fucked. Jeff is extremely batshit crazy, as he will immediately try and tear you a new asshole if he finds your location, so don't even make fart sounds to draw Jeff. Jeff also hates head crabs, and you will see him killing these fuckers in Chapter 7. Jeff will not be killed with gunfire or hand grenades, as he is invulnerable to Alyx's list of weapons. Players will need to trick Jeff into the trash compactor at the end of Chapter 7 to get rid of him and his craziness, and the whole chapter acts like a deadly cat and mouse game, with you being a very small, dirty, helpless mouse. Jeff is completely blind and can't see you but can hear you if you're making noises close to him. Jeff will react to loud noises and will immediately move to the source's origin. Jeff is also very strong and can bend doors and tear you a new asshole within a split second, so keep quiet. Jeff will not attack you unless you are directly in his space or bring him to your attention by making a loud noise. It is possible to avoid him. It's best to cover your mouth as not to cough when Jeff releases his smelly spores, this way he will not detect you. Behind the development of my old friend Jeff Boy, how he was brought to life, haters if I am wrong. So shoot me. Jeff was in development for about 3 years more or less. The idea behind Jeff was to create a blind, unkillable enemy that puts the player in a shit your pants position, adding to the depth of virtual reality. Jeff began life at the start as a standard zombie and progressed into a mini-boss. The level was built around Jeff. The level's elevator sequence was part of the earliest tests to see how a player would respond to being in a confined space with Jeff, to which playtesters responded with great feedback. At one point the team made Jeff a giant blind combine robot. However, the firefights while dealing with Jeff took away from tension of the level. So the devs stayed with the cat and mouse tension theme. Jeff was specifically designed to give a signal to the player that they would have to think differently. Early tests included more interactions with Jeff, such as hanging object on Jeff or stealing a keycard out of his pocket for the next objective, etc. However, the sheer discomfort of being near Jeff was effective enough, and so the focus was back to making the player do things they really did not want to do but knew they had to in order to progress through the level. The best example of this was the lift puzzle with the freezer locker, where the player thinks they trap Jeff but then has to let him out in order to get back into the freezer to use the mini tool to complete the puzzle. The testers expressed the anger of having to release Jeff, when you thought the coast was clear. However, the developers also had to strike the correct balance for the level's difficulty. If the tension was too high or Alyx was killed too many times, resulting in a game over, players would grow numb to Jeff's threat and not want to continue playing. Fun facts about Jeff. Well, are you ready, Teddy? The spores that pissed out of Jeff and make Alyx cough were only added towards the end of development. The idea was to add another element to force players to think more carefully about the environment and the choices they made, adding to the tensions. Funny enough, playtesters instinctively covered their mouths to stop the coughing. The team added covering your mouth later, but were surprised to see playtesters discover it quickly and use it as a core mechanic almost straight out of the gate. Yeah, that's some crazy shit of testing, some even playing the whole level with their hand over their mouth, like a trip to the supermarket nowadays. This led to an added line of speech for Larry, specifically telling Alyx, the player to cover her mouth, as the player was now almost gonna instinctively do it anyway. I personally grew to love Jeff and would have liked to have gone for a beer with him. Here is to you, Jeff. Like and sub the review channel, this YouTube channel. More shit will come, but only if you support it. Bye bye.